2023 was a great year for the CTMC, with over 100 maps released through the Discord repository and other websites just in 2023. After playing all of them, let me tell you what maps you should play from that selection. Starting off with number 10, Episodes of the Infernal. A 13-objective cartographer-based map for 1.20.1. The Waddler debuts with Episodes of the Infernal. The map makes heavy use of cartographer enchantments with very low use of cartographer mobs, allowing for a fast-paced power fantasy game loop. With great builds and decent layouts, the only thing that held this map back was burnout. The latter half of the map severely declines in gameplay quality in comparison to the first half, which leaves its position in this year's rankings at number 10. Moving on, we have number 9, Uncomplete. A 12-objective collab map made for Strawberry Jam number 38, Out of Order. Sheol, Vertigan, and Mouse puts a twist on the CTM formula by having the players return wolves from the pre-completed monument back to the dungeon's objective locations. This map makes creative use of different brushes to force the player to navigate chaotic and hazardous terrain. While not having S-tier visuals, the map makes solid use of item builder to give the player a much more interesting pool of loot to work with. The map serves as a solid jack-of-all-trades, master of none, not having super standout features, but performing solidly and acceptably across the board. Next we have number 8, Warranty Quest number 1, Get Warranty or Die Trying. A 1.8.9 full wool CTM map by Aviatic and Bluebird, made with 32 hours of mapping and polishing. This map offers a fair challenge with lots of monsters and lots of supplies to use. The map provides the necessary tools to give yourself a fun experience reminiscent of the 1.8 era of CTMs. I would have loved to rank this higher if it were a more modern map, but given its version limitations, it can only accomplish so much. The map makes efficient use of MC edit filters to provide an interesting enough experience for the player, while sticking to its self-imposed time restraint. The map has lots of goodies hidden in every nook and cranny for the player to find, which are well worth the discovery. However, mob spam is still mob spam even in 1.8. It gets a bit sloggy towards the end, but the player has enough power to make it through without too many complaints. A solid contender for this year's top maps. Now we have number 7, Contrary. Another submission for the Out of Order Strawberry Jam, this time by 4X. While you don't spend very much time in this map, the time you spend is very enjoyable. Contrary is an 8-objective linear map with a very branching intersection. The monument has a set wool order that can be solved with various hints laid across the map to find. While not mechanic heavy, the gameplay loop is very smooth and guarantees an enjoyable experience with some light puzzle solving. A fantastic all-rounder that makes great gameplay without the need for heavy mechanics, proving you don't need heavy data packs to succeed. We then have number 6, Map Rec 6, Sunset to Sentience. The 6th installation of the CTMC's Map Rec series takes place on an ultra-dense island, packed with all 16 dungeons. The map features fantastic visuals, very fun to use items, and some great quality of life features from Cartographer and the compilers. You can't have it all, however, as the map's density works against itself by severely impacting system performance. If you can get past that, some oversights in mob design might also find you with surprise one-shot mob abilities or mob abilities that just crash your game or your server. Despite all its flaws in history, Map Rec 6 is still a shockingly good map and deserves its fitting 6th place this year. Next up we have number 5, Quickfire number 23, Jingle Bell Jamfire. The second time trial Quickfire with 20 dungeons, this map puts the player against the clock with fast-paced gameplay and dungeons made in 1 hour from previous Strawberry Jam themes. Players must collect coins from the dungeons in order to unlock the objectives within a specified time frame. The map gives the player extraordinarily powerful consumables to aid them in this power fantasy time trial. There are also extra bonuses for players to earn to increase their coin multiplier. A simple premise with high replayability. Moving on, we have number 4, The Distant Lands 2, Starlight Desert. A healthy mixture of older map design and more modern features, this 16-objective map by Mouse takes place in a vast, open desert with old healing. The map does a fantastic job interconnecting all the dungeons to feel like one massive network. While not the most visually outstanding map, the well-done survival aspects and open layout make it a top contender for this year's ranking. A rewarding challenge to welcome returning players back to the genre. Before moving on to the top 3, let's go over our honorable mentions that just barely missed out on the top 10. Our first honorable mention goes to Patch Rec. A simple premise where map makers had to create a fraction of the map, be it a small area segment, a mob, a loot item, or something of the sort. Once all the pieces had been made, they were stitched together to make 5 dungeons. The heavy limitations allowed for participants to get very creative for their singular contributions. The gameplay potential was a bit punished due to the size restrictions of the builds, unfortunately, but still a fun experience that I recommend. Our second honorable mention goes to Deadly Sandstone Mines. Another Dave Mappa banger. This map is a 5-objective jam map, again for the out of order jam. A challenging, resource scarce map that plays surprisingly well. A more fleshed out concept could have absolutely succeeded, but is still a fantastic minimap for what it offers. Our third honorable mention goes to Riptide Summit. 4Ax's 2023 Advent submission is themed around the Riptide gimmick. Your primary form of travel and form of combat stems from a Riptide Trident. Just like with Contrary, 4X offers a simple yet satisfying gameplay loop, and adds the enjoyment of Riptide as well as a few creative mobs to the mix. Just like with Deadly Sandstone Mines, the shortness of the map limits its potential, but still provides a very fun experience and in my opinion, the best option of the Advent maps. Our final honorable mention goes to Final Paradox. A massive, full wool map with outstanding builds and extraordinary mechanics, absolutely deserving of a top ranking. However, I'm only including it in this list because it was only made a week before 2023 started. Whatever you think about it, its strong suits are some of the best available in CTM Maps. However, it wasn't a 2023 release, so we'll compromise, keeping it in the honorable mentions. Now, let's finally move on to the top 3. Number 3. Trials of the Sorcerer. A huge MapRec-esque project led by Comp and Gizmo. Trials of the Sorcerer is a difficult, fast-paced map heavily dependent on Cartographer. With 6 primary objectives and 10 bonus objectives, the map provides several hours of gameplay to enjoy, with many secrets and rewards to find. The map intends for the player to find and use equipment builds that best suit their playstyle. While difficult, the map is not very punishing, so I highly recommend for a solid challenge. And in second place, we've got Sun Guardian. A huge debut release by Swarm of Bears straight out of the depths of MinecraftMaps.com. Sun Guardian incorporates many custom features to provide a diverse and engaging experience for the player. With mob abilities, boss fights, quests, custom weapons, consumables, parkour, puzzles, secrets, and more, there's so many options for the player to play through in this diamond in the rough map. And now, for the number 1 map of the year. Untold Stories 9, Castlemania. Another massive release from RenderXR, Castlemania does not pull any punches. An extremely intricately designed world full of content, the player will find themselves discovering dungeons and treasures in every nook and cranny. The map features beautiful grand vistas, a custom healing system, a custom scaling mob spawning system, custom wands, 1.8 sword combat, and much more. The map doesn't feature the most game-changing of ideas, but it excels in what it aims to do, highly deserving of the number 1 rank of the year. And that's the top CTM maps of the year, ladies and gentlemen. All the maps listed can be found in the Map Releases channel of the CTM Discord, or on the CTM repository website. So what do you think of these rankings? Agree? Disagree? Let me know. And I'll see you for next year's. Goodbye!